On this episode of Chasing Legends, Nash and the team head to Louisiana to investigate a Cajun legend known as the Rougarou. Deep in the swamps, the crew has a frightening encounter that puts everyone on edge. Will they find evidence of the elusive beast, or is it just another folktale?
I'm Nash Hoover. Since I was young, I have been fascinated by stories of mythological creatures and dreamt of traveling the globe to find explanations for the unexplained. Together, my crew and I will investigate these cryptid legends and go beyond what we think we know. We're not just chasing monsters, we're chasing legends.
Tell you one thing, it's definitely not hot out. Well guys, welcome to Louisiana. We are here looking for the Rougarou, which is a French Cajun werewolf legend. So, interesting environment, something we've never worked in before. So it's going to be interesting, it's going to be dangerous, it's going to be hot.
You can imagine kids are probably scared of this story, Cajun kids and kids in the area, but it's one of those stories that was brought over with a lot of that French cultural aspects that came to Louisiana. There's definitely some Christian motifs involved. I think something about number 13.
Lent, right? There's something about
Lent.
if you
don't practice Lent 7 years in a row, you can turn into a Rougarou. And it's important to note, Rougarou, unlike most werewolf-type creatures, aren't exclusively tied to the full moon. You'll become a Rougarou for at least 90 days. So
101 days.
Daytime Rougarou action?
No, every night.
Okay, every night. Okay.
Yes.
What was the thing about the number? I know.
The number 13, yeah. So a good way to avoid the Rougarou is by, let's say you're being chased, you just drop 13 pennies on the ground, and Rougarous are supposedly unable to count past the number 12. So they'll be stuck there all night trying to count the 13 pennies.
So all we need is change.
Everyone bring 13 pennies.
After New Orleans, the crew and I go to meet filmmaker and local historian Glenn Petrie.
So we're here looking for the Rougarou. What can you tell us about it?
It won't be easy to find,
Never are.
and if you do, you probably regret it.
Awesome.
The Rougarou is not, it's not like some ghost that's haunting a house or some monster living in the woods. On this side of the line, you do something bad, the sheriff arrests you, you go do your time in prison. On the other side of the line, you do something bad, something really bad, and you might be turned into a Rougarou.
Okay.
So it's a curse on you. It's a punishment on you. And the form it takes is you turn into a beast. Now, sometimes it's like you become the beast and you're that way until it's released. Sometimes it's almost like you're shifting shapes and it happens on certain nights, or for some people it happens when the moon's full, for some people it happens, on a certain moon of the year, or, every evening. It depends. It depends. And what shape you take depends. Because you talk to people who've encountered them, and sometimes what they describe is like, it's like almost like a big hairy ape or a man ape, and sometimes you hear, that it's more like a dog, but it's a dog that's not acting like a dog.
Right.
When you're in this shape, it's a torment because people, even loners, people need people.
Right.
And what happens is you're suddenly separated. You can't interact. You can't be part of a family. You can't be part of a group. You can't play cards with the guys. You can't tell jokes or laugh at other people's jokes. You are separate. And everybody who sees you wants to get away from you. So it's its own kind of horror. And sometimes when a person does something, they don't not necessarily turn into a rougarou, but the rougarou latches onto them. And wants, they can never, it's sort of the opposite thing. They can never be alone. The things that you always hear about how you might get rid of a rougarou. And again, everybody's got their stories, but the things you always hear, one is you have to draw its blood. You have to cut it. You have to make that wound yourself, though. You can't shoot it because the bullet's not attached to you. You can stab it, but they're quick. They disappear and then reappear over here. You can't get them. Now the other thing I always say is, if you manage to get rid of one, or if there's one, even if it's not haunting you, even if it's not attached to you, if you know who that is, because it's always somebody. Under that creature shape, it's always somebody. If you know who that is, you can't not say for a year and a day. You got to keep that secret for a year and a day, because if you don't hang on to that secret for at least that long, that's a big enough crime, that's a big enough sin that you become a rougarou.
So it sounds to me like it's something that's it kind of blurs the lines between physical and metaphysical. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. It's both. They say when, oftentimes they'll perch on your shoulders and the weight is crushing. But it's crushing, and yet you can walk, you can move, but the feeling of weight is crushing. But mostly it's those eyes. People talk about lying in bed, and it's on the head of the bed, just looking down at you. Imagine trying to go to sleep like that.
So it almost sounds to me like it's almost a physical form of guilt.
I've never heard anybody say that, but that's, you hit the nail on the head. It's like if your conscience was a very scary creature.
Okay, it knows what you did wrong, and it's going to make sure that you know that it knows.
It knows what you did wrong, and sometimes the wrong can be as simple as not keeping a confidence.
We're at the Jean Lafay, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's very French. It's a national park. It's very swampy. It's going to allow us to get way out into the swamp where we wouldn't be able to because there's public trails and such. No one around. That's good and bad at the same time, but more so good. It's hot, so we're going to hike in and do a little bit of daytime sweep, see if we can see anything, kind of scope out the area, and then come back later and do our night investigation.
This is where you start. we would start going out this way and then move all the way up. Mostly elevated platforms or gravel paths, certain parts, but I think this whole part
we're not gonna stay on the paths, so.
Oh.
Because we're extreme!
You're basically walking on an elevated platform above the swamp floor. Snakes, could be gators sitting in the sun. Obviously we don't have much sunlight now, but nutrias, all kinds of animals just pretty much right off the path. So it's a pretty wild area, and we're only 30 minutes from downtown New Orleans, which is actually pretty interesting.
I'm looking forward to finding some good trails, some good swampy territory. Especially if we're going to be here at night, I would like to at least familiarize myself with the area before, just stepping around blindly.
No, what are those?
Those are called cypress knees. This is from the cypress trees. This is a cypress tree. They stick out of the water because that's how they get air, because their roots are like down in there. And it's a really weird way, but people like to use them as decorative items. But so that's probably from this cypress tree right here, this big one. That's its knees, and that little patch right over there too.
That's a knee?
Cypresses are actually related to sequoia and redwood trees, one of the largest trees in the world. So what did you guys hear? Hold on. When we were...
I didn't hear anything.
Was Brian filming?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, it was just me and Kayla.
Yeah,
they were
Brian
back
wasn't
further.
close.
They were like right at the end of that bridge right there.
When you guys are over here.
Because we thought you were throwing shit into the water.
we were over here by the tree.
I don't know.
Did you investigate?
We looked at it, but I'm not gonna go into the swamp after it.
Did you hear like what did you hear? Like just things falling?
Yeah,
No,
it sounded like something falling. You heard something like a breaking log.
I heard like leaves rustling around and shit.
There was a bunch of movement.
Yeah, you
I
see
thought
the
it was like
movement,
something in
and
the
then it
water
was
you were
like
talking about.
it could be, but like there was just like it sounded like a giant log just like got stepped on or was like fucked
Yeah,
with. I
Could
don't
be
know.
a nutria, could be a deer. I mean,
Nutria.
Did
But,
not see a deer.
Like, I swore you guys were like throwing big ass rocks into the water because it sounded like something big hit him, dude. Like whatever it was a large sound.
It's raining a lot.
like that?
Yeah,
It was like more hollow.
yeah. It was like an old tree stump or something.
Well, maybe when we go back, we can try to replicate it and see if you guys can tell us what it sounded like or didn't sound like.
And we got the Pacific.
And then you got mountains, yeah.
I mean, we have swamps like up in Minnesota, but they're not like
We
this.
have swamps too, but they're like cider, not cider.
I'm Eli Watson. Right now, I'm chasing legends. No, not the legends you may be thinking of. I'm chasing Nash Hoover and Alexander Pedikov, both who are cryptozoological phenomenons, aka legends. This is my quest. I'm deep within the wilderness of Louisiana, as you can tell.
No, don't get without locking the car. What? Lock the car.
I'm hearing primate noises. Look. I found them. They're unaware of my existence.
are in the town of Houma, Louisiana. Kind of another nature reserve that we're gonna kind of do another little daytime exploration.
Okay, buddy.
Boat tour later. Gonna take us kind of deeper into the swamps, show us kind of some more of the wildlife and kind of what to expect. Yeah. No rain in the forecast.
There's mud all over them. I can't get out.
Are you downplaying the nutrients?
I'm sorry, man. I'll
Must be a lemon.
Well, that's up
Oh,
there.
lost the stick.
Alright, let's try that again, huh?
shoot it down.
Ready? I don't think they're good. Alright, watch out.
Camera. Oh, let's get across.
You got it.
Yeah, they don't look good. They all have holes in them and they're got bugs in them. Look at that. Lemon for sure. Mmm. Sweeter than a lemon. You don't want to try? Try some. Sweet, dude.
Actually good.
You could.
Yeah.
A loquat.
It's called a loquat, folks.
Also a good source of calcium, potassium, and fiber.
Cool. Well, because you're supposed to eat the skin, apparently.
Yeah.
Like an apple.
That's awesome.
I've never eaten anything like that where like the fruit peeled away from the skin
Yeah.
so easily.
It was
Feels
yeah,
like
it's like an
start.
orange lime or whatever. I mean, that's what I would describe it as. Fruits of our labor. It smells delicious.
We found is afraid of frogs, the Rougarou, usually female, and tries to lure you off, and she got lured off yesterday.
So I think we should go there.
She's getting
then.
targeted.
After the day investigation, we head to Homa to visit with Captain Billy Gaston, also known as the Cajun Man, for a boat tour around the swamp.
Alright guys, first of all I want to kind of give you a rundown on the area itself, okay? We're in the middle of the Bear-Terre-Terrebonne National Estuary. This estuary covers over 1 million acres. It begins around the Mississippi River, all the way to the Atchafalaya River. It goes as far north as Baton Rouge, Louisiana, around the Morganza Spillway, and as far south as the Gulf of Mexico. Over 1 million acres, guys, and this is all fresh water here in this area. And there's some things out here in this swamp, guys, I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. I've never actually seen anything that's unexplainable, but I've heard things that I cannot explain. When I was born and raised over here down the bayou, right in my backyard, probably around 1980 or so, I heard something growling in the swamps. It was probably a quarter of a mile away when I heard it. And it put goosebumps on me. It made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. There's nothing I can imagine that would make that kind of sound here in this area. I heard just about every kind of animal there is out here in the swamps. With my life living out here, hunting, fishing, trapping in this area. So I don't know anything that could have made a growl like that.
Where?
Right there. There. Literally right in front of you. Excuse me. Is this your alligator?
This is about a 6-year-old alligator.
He's 6? He's that small?
When they first born, they're 6 inches in length. They grow about 10 to 12 inches every year until they get about 8 foot. Then they slow down in length, only grow a ½ inch to an inch
I'm
every
doing it on
year
my
after
phone
that.
too.
And then all of a sudden,
Can I make the sound effect?
You guys seeing this, dude? You seen this?
What is this? What do you think that is?
Silverback gorilla.
Dude, this is a good
Lowland
shot.
mountain
Dude, I
gorilla.
love That's like a chihuahua.
Are you sure it's not a giant puckwudgie?
It might be the chupacabra. So based on reports, the Rougarou is supposed to be a very large, sometimes described as bipedal, werewolf-looking animal. Large, hairy. We, unfortunately, have not seen it yet. Hopefully tonight, maybe. But that is what it would look like in this environment. So we put that out there to get a visual reference for ourselves and you guys to kind of gauge what this creature is supposed to look like.
several people down the bayous south of Homa, down these little fishing villages, swear they saw a Rougarou. My brother is one of them. He was out there fishing, him and his wife. And they saw, they call it a devil dog, ran across the road while he was fishing. My brother's bigger than I am, and he's crazier than I am as well.
and he ran to the truck, and him and his wife both were scared to death. And when they called me and told me what they saw, something, they saw something. I can guarantee just by the sound of it.
Nash, what are we cooking with here?
Well, we had a bunch of people flying drones, and Alex, we had to turn off the obstacle avoidance to get out of here because we're in, they have an enclosed boat.
Oh, fuck.
Well, Alex didn't turn his obstacle avoidance back on, and he hit a tree, and it fell, and it fell there, and we can't get it.
Luckily, it's not in the water, At least it's on dry ground.
Look. Oh, because I clipped the top of that tree because I was trying to go higher and obstacle avoidance was off, so.
Here he was, 10 minutes ago, being like, let's go higher.
Dude. I got you. So, you want to try and step on it?
Put one of my seats down.
Okay.
But then there's nowhere I can go then.
Give you one of my
About right there.
What is that?
I can take one of my seat cushions and put right there.
We got a board. 1 sec.
One short here.
Oh, it blew up.
Wait, really?
We got it!
There's only one broke off?
Yeah. Success!
Will you float?
Thank you. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Alright guys, so we are back in the Jean Lafitte National Forest. About to conduct our night investigations for the Rougarou. There's a lot of dangers we're going to face tonight. I know there was a lot of dangers that we faced today during our daytime sweep. It's very wet, very slippery, so everyone please watch your footing. These boards are very slick, and there's no dry land on either side of them. I don't want any of us to become alligator food. So I think for teams tonight, we'll do Michaela and I, Jack and Sammy, and then Alex, why don't you take Eli and Brian? We'll head in together, and then I think there was a kind of a T point, and we'll probably leave you guys at that T point, and Michaela and I and the two guys will keep heading deeper in to see if we can try and see if we can scare something your way, or if you guys can try and see if you can scare something our way.
Sure.
You've got something to give both teams?
I do. So before we do that, I just want to say, in terms of safety equipment, obviously we have a lot of dangers, as Nash mentioned. Each team will have 2 walkie-talkies, so that's just in case. They're all completely on the same channel, so we're good to communicate like that. Each team has a FLIR unit, which is important. You may see an alligator sticking its head out of the water or something moving through the woods. Important to have that. And then I brought some pennies. So as Glenn had mentioned, and as we've seen through some of our research, Rougarou cannot count past 13, or right?
Yeah, it can't pass 12. So
Can't pass 12. So we're gonna have 13 pennies. So each team will have 13. I mean, I know this is, it might seem kind of silly, but you never know. This seems to be a case where it's paranormal bridging sort of a physical aspect. So
Ripping a page right from the Chad Lewis playbook. I'm sure he'll love it.
yeah, so we'll what the Cajuns do, that's what we'll do. So I'm just going to hand each team
is
13.
the protocol to put them on the ground?
yeah, you just
You're being
chuck them
chased,
on the
you gotta
ground.
drop 'em.
Okay.
Yeah, because it will get stuck and we'll have to count them.
Okay.
So let's just quickly, as quickly as I can do this, open these up. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
We gotta have
12.
we gotta have Michaela do this so they confirm it.
13. Now who on your team wants to be in charge of the pennies?
Probably Michaela.
Kayla?
Yep.
Make sure none of them are Canadian. They all got to be American. 5,
What's it? Why?
6,
Why? What's wrong with
7,
them being
8,
Canadian?
9,
It's worth less than a penny.
10, 11,
Oh yeah.
12, 13.
I don't think the Rougarou counts the monetary value.
Yeah.
I think it counts the objects.
We could pick
It's
up
the
pennies and
it's
stones
the
and drop
monetary
them.
value.
So I have the rest of them just in
1,300
case.
yen.
Yeah.
Just toss this in
It's
my
like
bag.
$2.
In your bag?
Just anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Any closing statements or anything?
Don't die.
Everyone be very careful.
Yes.
Everyone
Seriously,
ready?
though, guys, this is probably one of the most dangerous environments we've ever been in. So please
Communicate frequently.
communicate and tread lightly and lead with caution.
And we're on, half of the trail we're on is with the ground level. So it's not like we're on, there's parts we're on platforms, but here anything can get on the trail. So nutria, cottonmouth,
So
all
watch,
sorts of
yeah,
stuff.
watch. You're pretty much having to watch every direction.
Your footing above you.
Yeah, watch your footing, watch your sides, watch above you. Just sit in the trees.
Don't brush up against any foliage.
Yeah.
Try not to, at least.
And try not to get carried away by the bugs.
Yeah, I breathed one in.
Boogie.
All right, guys, let's go.
Those webs are everywhere. Yeah, there's a little guy. Little guy. We dodging spiders all night. All right, well, this is about as far as they're gonna come down to. So we're gonna keep going that way. You guys ready? Yeah. This is the boardwalk when stuff's gonna get interesting. It's dry, so it's not, I'm not worried about slipping, but we're, pretty much have.
Surrounded on either side.
Yeah, we're surrounded on either side by things we cannot see. So, luckily for us, most animals do, but alligators specifically give off a very distinct eye shine. So we're gonna see that before anything else. Obviously, I'm not worried about them coming towards us because they'll probably kind of go away from us because we saw on the boat that they really just, don't really want anything to do with us unless we're feeding them. I'm also going to be able to pick up anything on the FLIR. However, I'm not going to be able to pick up snakes. So we really got to be making sure we are paying attention to everything.
Eli's got our 13 pennies, so they should be in good hands.
Hopefully.
All right, Eli, let me ask you real quick.
Okay.
What do you think about being out here right now at night in the swamps? What's it like? Describe the environment.
Well, it's just as alive as it was in the morning, if not more alive. That might be due to all the visitors to this particular location during the day. So all the things start coming out at night.
A lot of life out here at night.
Oh, yeah. But it's I guess it's more intense than the other locations we've gone to. Just
What?
spiders hanging from the trees and just stuff that we have not experienced yet. So,
Yeah, I would agree.
so I don't know. I'm just hoping we all make it out of this alive.
I want to see an alligator on my fleur. That's my biggest goal right now. Obviously to experience something Rougarou related, but not sure if I necessarily want that because there's all this cursed stuff associated with it. I don't want it to be like a case of like we're messing with forces we don't understand here. I'm not about that.
Sure.
Because I don't really think this Rougarou thing is like a physical, unidentified species of hominid-like dog creature. I mean, I just think that's kind of silly, to be totally honest.
Sure.
Cajuns, they believe in it. I mean, Glenn, he said that his
There's another one
his
right
duck
there.
spider webs. You know, Glenn said that his grandfather had experienced it, and knows lots of people who have. Billy Gaston, Cajun man, he told us his brother swears up and down that him and his wife saw it, as well as other people in the area. So, who am I to come to their home, South Louisiana, and tell them that this is not real or it isn't real? I'm going to respect their cultural beliefs and the folklore that they've passed down from generation to generation of living in this inhospitable area. You know, so I guess we'll see. But
Yeah.
Alligator on the fleur, that's a definite goal.
Definite goal. Oh, something over there. Something moving around. Just heard some splashing. What the hell was that?
It was that way. It sounds like someone screaming.
That's almost it's like.
Can you communicate with them and ask them if that's them?
Nash to Alex, come in. Hey, are you guys making any sort of howling sounds?
No, but we are listening to some barred owls going off not too far from
Okay, copy that. We just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it's an owl. Shh. Okay, a barred owl. Case closed.
Hear that?
Yes, I do.
Did you pick something up?
No, but we could, just the sounds. I don't see anything. So we just heard, I don't know, it sounded like, what did you say, like splashing almost? Something moving over there. I don't see anything though. I don't hear it either anymore. Oh, got a gator, got a gator. Oh, I couldn't see anymore. Yeah, it was probably that big.
Cute.
Oh no, because you have one of the other ones.
Right there.
Okay, can we just get on the bridge?
You see that?
Oh yeah, look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Close as fuck.
Yeah, I can't see it on the camera, but
Look how big that trail is that
it's
it left.
right there.
There's two of them.
Yeah, can we get back on the bridge?
Hey, can you see it, Sammy?
No, I can't.
Do you see? Can you see it with your eyes though?
No, not with my eyes either.
And I think you might be able to come over here. Come like where we are.
Right here. See those shines? There's two of them.
We're seeing two more alligators, or at least their eyes shine. But you can still see them. Way over there.
They're right there.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
Tell what it is, but
Oh, it's definitely, it's a shine of something. Oh, you guys hear that?
Alex,
Hold on. Hold on. What's up, film? Dude, there's something moving in this brush. Where's the walkie? I caught my shine. I thought.
All right. Thanks for letting us know, guys. We are currently hearing some sort of movement in the marsh over here. So, Eli, what did you hear? Or what did you see?
I saw through the infrared here, just like a ball.
Yeah.
In the darkness.
And I heard something moving. I didn't see anything on the floor, though, unfortunately.
But I don't know what it could have been.
All right, let's try to go quiet for a little bit here. Just see if we can't get that movement again. Not getting anything on the floor. What about you, Eli?
I thought I could see movement coming from this side of the swamp. It's hard to tell, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything out here other than gators. It's just so hard to investigate a place like this because there's like nowhere for us to go. Unfortunately, alligators aren't what we're here for. Okay, I see one. Oh, there's two. Jesus Christ. What?
I'm just having a panic attack. Please, please, for the love of God.
Kayla. It's nothing. Kayla. You okay?
I'm just like freaking out. I don't want to.
Okay, well, let's go.
Oh, yeah. They're booking. Can you see them on the flare?
Alex to Nash, just a heads up, we are a couple minutes out from your location, so we'll be coming in.
Warn them. Warn them.
Just so you know, the alligators are acting up. A lot of loud splashing. We can see them moving across the swamp.
Okay, we will come in very quietly.
The two main ones that we are there's a third one.
We should get out of
The
here.
two main ones that we're seeing are very close to the path. We attempted to walk back to you, and that's when they started freaking out. There was a third one I saw over there. It looks like they're moving farther away from it.
Not that one.
Is there still one? Yeah, but that one, he is farther away from it originally. I don't see the other one now.
We should get out of here.
Are you okay, Kayla, to go?
Yeah, let's just go.
Okay. Well, it's been a interesting night. It's been an interesting few days. A pretty freaky investigation. I think, as it stands, I don't know if was any Rougarous out tonight. Definitely a lot of other pretty freaky animals, but in terms of Rougarous, I don't think we came across anything that really pointed to that conclusion.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, obviously the two teams had different things happen. We, probably heard some weird stuff, barred owls,
Yeah.
But I would have to agree with Nash. I don't think there was anything that would jump out and say Rougarou. I didn't need to equip my 13 pennies at any point,
Yeah.
so that's good. But yeah, so it was definitely interesting to be out there. The swamp is full of life, as we've been told by all the people we've talked to so far.
Yeah, so I guess, what's everyone's thoughts on this?
I mean, this is definitely harsh terrain. We are nowhere near anything that wants to not kill us, you know? And it seems strange to me to have like a large wolf-like creature out here that can move through this terrain and to like coexist with all this danger out here. But it's also like stuff can just hide. We had gators just pop up on us out of nowhere, and there's just life everywhere. So
for me, I think, you know, I think it lends a little bit of credence to it because, like Jack said, everything in here wants to kill you, and there's no reason to make up another thing that is going to try to kill you. Yeah. I don't see how that's logical in any way, shape, or form. It's not like, oh, let's make up the Rougarou so the kids don't swim in the water. It's like, well, there's an actual danger there, or don't go out in the swamp at night. It's like, well, everything wants to kill you already. So it's like, to me, it doesn't seem logical to make up a story like this. I do believe it's more on the paranormal side, so there's a strong possibility that it might not even have been in this location. We had 2 possible witnesses who said that they witnessed it near Cutoff, Louisiana. Yeah. You know, so very possible it's not even near here tonight.
Yeah, I would have to agree with what Eli said. I think that this probably lays more on the paranormal side as opposed to maybe the Mogollon Monster or Champ. Just seems like much more on that side. And then one thing I mentioned to Eli and Brian when we were walking was, you know, we are not from around here. We obviously talked to some people who grew up in the Cajun folklore. These people have lived in this area for hundreds of years. So who am I to come here and tell them, well, your thing does or doesn't exist? There's people in these communities who believe what they've seen. They believe the folklore they've been passed down, and it's not on me to come and say one way or the other. Just here to observe and learn, and I've taken some information out of this, and I think that whatever this thing is, maybe it's been here, maybe it came with the people, the stories. Either way, we're not really going to be able to prove it doing this kind of thing, but we learned a lot about it, and I think that's the best takeaway, is just learning the culture and the folklore associated with it, the Cajun cultures, which is, as Glenn mentioned, is sort of a dying culture, unfortunately. So we can get people more interested in that respect, and not just the Rougarou, but all the other myths he mentioned. Really awesome. But it's been, I don't know, it's been really interesting for me, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.